All right. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's almost the weekend. I hope everyone's had a good week so far. Today, we are going to be talking about supplements, kind of continuing on the supplements train from Tuesday, where we talked all about CBD. But today, thank you. My husband just delivered me food. That was sweet. Today, so we're actually going to talk about the quality of supplements, why it's important to work with somebody when choosing supplements, and how to tell if the supplements you're taking are good or not. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to get my mom in. Joined today by a guest who is our supplement guru. We love her. She's going to be joining in on this live as well, so we'll get her in just a second. Hello.
Did you put a filter this morning? Because you look really good. Can you put a filter on me?
I don't have a filter on me this morning. Thank you. So,
hey, Erin. How are you?
I just blew my nose, too.
Well, gosh, maybe
I'm so happy.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I think you look beautiful. So.
I know.
Thank you.
As always.
No, I got up. I showered this morning.
There it was.
Yeah.
I put like a little bronzer on my face. So
okay.
That's better than what I have. I have mosquito bites on my face because I was in the pool last night and it was the only place they could get. It's for me.
But yeah, so I was just kind of doing a general introduction of what we're going to be covering. But Tina, if you want to give, a little intro about you and what you do, and then we can dive into everything.
Sure. My name's Tina Jackson, and I'm the Holistic Chick, and I've been on this health journey I'm 50 now, for more than half of my life. Just being really, really sick my whole entire life and not giving up and looking for answers and going through every route to try to find those answers. And turned out that Epstein-Barr played a big part in my health journey, and I found that through an article that the Medical Medium did. But I've been doing this for years and years, and I incorporate all kinds of different things that I've learned, not just one person or one teaching or whatever. It's a very, very individualized for each person, and that's how everybody should be treated, like an individual, because it's not getting healthy is not a one size fits all, and it's not even a one season fits all. What might work for you one day might not work for you the next. So it's a flow. So that's what I do. I dive deep to really see what's going on.
Yeah. No, I know. It's interesting how we've moved so far away from that, each person's an individual and what's going on with them. You don't fit in a box and you don't fit under a diagnosis. It's, you really do have to kind of do some detective work to, keep looking, right?
Yeah.
And I love the idea, but the fact of the matter is that it is seasonal. I remember just the shift in my body, like pre-baby, post-baby too. Like it was totally different. I had to like relearn everything, and that's so important to understand too. Like you are going to change, and your life's going to evolve. Your person's going to evolve. Your, who you are changes. So it all matters and all plays a role. So
yeah, your needs change. That's why you can't be like, I'm doing this and this is how it's going to be forever. And if I don't do this, then forget it. It's just, that's not going to work long term.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and even like going through a move or doing, like one of the top 10 stressful things that happen in life, I mean, even there you have to reassess and figure out kind of where you're at that point too, which is why working, with people that understand that, at a very deep level and know how to kind of guide you through that is kind of important, which is kind of what we were going to talk about today. Only a small section, but people are so into their supplements. They just love to be taking things, but it's like part of it is too, is like, it makes you feel good, right? That I'm doing something positive for myself and I'm trying to correct something. But maybe not. Kind of.
Yeah, I looked into some just industry statistics, and the supplement industry in general. They said that it's aimed to be a $50 billion industry by 2024. And about 70% of people are taking supplements, and the average that we spend on them as Americans, at least, is about $100 a month. So majority of people are taking something. And so I think that that's really interesting, but I also think we've been programmed to take the pill. Taking the pill is going to make me feel better. And great. Yeah, it's not a pharmaceutical, but what do we really know about what we're taking? And is it just another cabinet, another pharmacy that we're reaching to, that's not really doing us any good? So that's the question, right? Like, are we wasting all this money? And yeah, so that's basically what we're going to talk about today. And I think where we wanted to really start was to talk about the importance of why you should work with somebody when choosing supplements, or when you're thinking about supplementing. So.
I think that's one of the key things people are missing, because there's a lot of advertising, a lot of the money spent, especially supplements are being bought by big companies that own pretty much everything else, and they have these huge marketing strategies. So people are marketed thinking, oh, I need this, I need that. And maybe to a point you do, and most of us are deficient in just about everything, because our bodies are so bombarded with chemicals and stuff that take, like I was in the pool last night, filled with chlorine, so I took some iodine today to kind of, to counteract that. But supplements should be directed by somebody who knows exactly what you need, who, when they start that digging, because you could be taking an omega, and that's great if it's a good quality one, but if your adrenals are shot, or if you're, there's a million different examples I could give, you really want to address those things first and then move to the optimal supplements, because that's really what they are. They're supplementing what we're not getting. And the ultimate goal is to just be taking a couple things and rotating them around for optimization, for vitality. We shouldn't have to be on all this stuff to just stay alive. And a lot of it, it's a whole other can of worms, which I'm sure we'll get into later. A lot of it's synthetic. So it's kind of counteracting really what you want it to do, and it's taking the good instead of giving us good. So that's a whole other story.
Yeah, we will touch on that a little bit, just when we talk about what does quality mean, like, to your point, there, like, the biggest one in recent time is Nestle buying quite a few, Pure being one of them, but quite a few lines of supplements where they say they're going to continue to uphold the standards, but there's no regulation too. That's another piece of this, right? So it's like, just like we talked about the other day in CD, there's no regulation. You don't know what you're getting, and sometimes what you're getting could harm you more than it's going to help, just because there's no, you don't even have a clue what's inside that little capsule or that tablet that you're taking. But those large companies now buying up some of the smaller ones that kind of started in the field, it is, I think, going to be even more difficult to find things of quality, in anything that's mass produced. the quality isn't there. You know, it doesn't matter what the product is. It just, you cannot keep a high quality with mass production. You
Well,
know?
it's interesting when you start digging into where does this stuff actually come from, like B vitamins. So when you look at a label, you want vitamin C to be from whole foods. You want to see real foods there. But usually what it says, vitamin C as ascorbic acid, and the vitamin B as blah, blah, blah. And all these things say as. And when you look up ascorbic acid and you look for companies that make it, there's only like a couple companies in the world that make it. So all this science and research that they say goes into their supplements, it's all from the same place. There's like really 2 or 3. B vitamins come from tar. It's chemical companies that they get their B vitamin from.
Right.
So yeah, it's huge. It's huge to turn that bottle around and look at it and know pretty much that if you're going to a big box store or something like that, it's not what you need.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty confident statement, you know, to say that. There are few companies out there that I'm aware of where you can actually get reports from a purity standpoint. There are people out there. There are I can't think. There's a big one too, where he does quality control, and you can actually download quality control documents to see, oh, you know, this is my favorite brand. Is it really have in it what it says it does, and where's the source come from? So it's and there's just, it's hard to find. I'll just stop.
Yeah.
I could talk all day on that.
And yeah, and to bring back up the control with the supplements, they are closely looked at by the FDA, but it's more of the process. Is everything clean? Are they following this rule and that rule? Are you making claims? That's their big thing. Because if you say take this for this, they don't want to hear that. You can't say anything heals.
Right.
So there is, on one hand, that things are looked at very closely, but then on the other hand, of, you know, what's actually going in there. What is it making the claim that it works the way it does? You know, so it's kind of interesting. Supplement companies aren't just like, you couldn't just do it in your basement, you know, like you have to abide by certain rules, but they're not taking that capsule then and then testing it to see, okay, if it's echinacea, is the echinacea really in it? Which they found when they did do studies of different supplements that, especially with herbs, even garlic, it's not even garlic in there. I mean, how simple can you get? Just put garlic in there.
So you're saying the FDA regulates they regulate supplements pretty closely, but it's only on terms of like the legality of it, as far as like what they're claiming to actually do. It's not about what's actually in the supplement, or if where they're being prepared is clean
And everything. Yeah.
But it's not actually about what's inside the thing that you're taking.
Right. Like, yeah, you see on the labels like good manufacturing practices and stuff like that. So there are a bunch of different agencies that look at this. But yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a quality. I mean, look at all the things on the shelves in the grocery store.
Right.
You know, 99% of it's junk. So.
Right. You should come to North Minnesota and go to the grocery store here.
Oh yeah.
Really. But so. So if you take that information and you say, you know, like how difficult it is to even understand like what is, you know, what's in it, right? Like just that knowledge alone, besides how it works in the body, when do you use it, what other systems have to be operating properly in order to be able to take supplements, you know, those are the reasons why it's important to work with someone who does understand how, you know, how like the whole mix, all the pieces of it, you know, to make sure that like we say, we spend so much money on these types of things. We all want health. And so it's just really important that we're getting the correct information, so that we're able to spend that wisely and spend our, our time and effort wisely.
And I think just an example of that is, and where people are spending their money, and my statistics are they're looking at the majority of people are spending a lot of money, well, right now on like elderberry and immune support stuff, but vitamin D.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, great, because majority of us are deficient in vitamin D, but they don't realize that magnesium plays a huge part in that, right? So you can take all the vitamin D supplements you want, but if you're deficient in magnesium, you're not getting anything anyways. It's not processing the same way. And so it's that kind of connection, right? Where it's like, you could read an article online that says we need vitamin D for this. Great, I'm going to go out and get my supplement, and it's not going to be working for you the way that you want. So just as an example, I think a lot of people are using that at the moment. So something to keep in mind for sure.
Well, and then go ahead.
Oh, sorry. They have to make sure that they can even assimilate it, because if you don't have stomach acid, which most people don't. I mean, how many people are on antacids, which you're only supposed to be on for 2 weeks, and they're on them, I've been on it for 20 years, which causes dementia and all this other stuff that it's related to. If you don't have that stomach acid, you can't absorb the B vitamins. You can't absorb, what else is it? Calcium.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these things that you can't absorb. So, I mean, really all you're doing is eliminating it as soon as you're taking it. And then you're like, this stuff doesn't work.
Right, and it's figuring it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Pee or poop. Going somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, well then, on that note, let's get into the kind of the nitty gritty about quality and what we're looking for when we're looking for quality supplements.
The first thing I look for is whole food ingredients. I want to see a big list in the back that has foods on there. And what I don't want to see is something that says it has 80 different fruits and vegetables or whatever, because once you start getting into those high numbers, is there a therapeutic dose in there? And that's another key, is that the supplements you take have a consistent therapeutic dose. Mm-hmm. You don't want to have to take, I'll go back to echinacea. MediHerbs is a company out of Australia, an herbal company of the highest quality. You can take one echinacea, and they've done tests, and you need 200 of a supplement to equal the one echinacea, the quality and potency of that. So that's another thing that I look for.
Yeah.
How do you? Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
Well, I was going to ask, because I think this question comes up because I think we touched on it earlier, like all of the marketing around supplements, and there's new supplements coming out too that are and I think it's just a marketing trick. And I know, Mom, you think so too. We've talked about it, but they're claiming, right, like they're the way they encapsulate the product or the whatever is inside is like the better absorption because of the way it hits your stomach and all this stuff. Is the majority of that pretty much crap? Like, as far as if I take a good quality supplement from a company that we know is good, it's whole foods, it doesn't really matter how it's encapsulated, right?
I guess it depends what it's trying to do. I know, again, MediHerb has a gut complex, and that is encapsulated so that it bypasses the stomach and then goes right to the intestines where it's needed. So as far as the other companies, that's the thing, marketing makes things sound so wonderful.
Right.
And makes you just want to run out or go to your computer and order it right away. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to say that they're lying or not. I could call bull on what the actual ingredients are and where they get their raw materials from and
Right.
that. But that's easy enough to figure out. You just have to flip it over and look.
Yeah.
No. So, so you've been, I mean, you've been in this world really longer than I have, you know, by actually diving deep into things. And so, when, you know, if someone were to say like, okay, I'm going to look for something that has whole foods. I'm going to look for something that, you know, is, like you say, looking for therapeutic dosing, looking for those types of things. Would you say that for the most part, you will find those? I know just in my experience, you find those types of higher quality things when you're working with someone, because a lot of times access to for the public isn't available for, you know, for some of the products that are really super high quality.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, some of the products out there, they only work with healthcare practitioners so that they are getting exactly what they need, and they're not just going out buying a bunch of stuff, because that's the name on the line, and even the practitioner's name on the line.
Right.
You don't want people to just willy-nilly buy a bunch of things and then say it didn't work because they didn't get better.
Right. Right. So, yeah,
Who is your train of thought?
I did lose my train of thought because I was had two thoughts and then they both went in opposite directions. So got excited because I was like, oh yeah, this and this. You know how I am. I get excited and then it's gone. No, so I'm a couple of the, and I don't know if we can talk about brand specific kinds of things, but one thing I was going to ask, and I had just read an article the other night on Amazon. So, you know, and buying your supplements from Amazon. And I read this article, and I know it was like from 2017 or something like that. So it's, you know, a few years old, but where Amazon admitted that a lot of the things that they were selling weren't what was in the bottles. And also that their supplements are not climate controlled. They're sitting in hot warehouses. They're, you know, and so, if you are, for example, like a MediHerb or Standard Process or something like that, and you're purchasing it through Amazon, you know, that might have been sitting there for, I don't even know how long under poor conditions. So I don't know what your thoughts are about.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't know who it is that's selling it. You don't know where it's been stored. You don't know how old it is. You don't even know if that's what's in the bottle.
Yeah. I think you know, let's say let's pretend we're a person that's like, okay, but
Whoa. You fell. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah. If I'm a person and I've been like instructed by somebody at some point, like I should take a vitamin D or a magnesium or greens for, you know, digestion or whatever, and I'm hearing all this and I'm like, okay, well, I'm concerned because they recommended this brand. I got it off of Amazon and whatever. Like, where should they go? You know, are we saying like where should they go? What's their next step as far as finding like?
Well, if they're working with a healthcare practitioner, a holistic healthcare practitioner that focuses in on nutrition, then they should be able to get it from them.
Okay.
Or be directed as to where to go. And if you can or don't want to work with somebody, look for the smaller companies. And again, look at those ingredients. And I would stay off Amazon. or any of those, really. You can find some good things on there. You know, you can find a few good things, but I always just question, really, because it's not Amazon. It's all these other parties that are selling things, and you just don't know where you're getting it from. So yeah, that's what I would say. There are other smaller companies out there, and then look also who owns them, because like we were saying, a lot of them are being bought out, and not that
Right.
it means that they get bought out and then instantly they're this terrible product if it's been working for you, but over time things could slip and change, and formulas could be changed and things like that. So
And that's a good, for somebody who has something that has been working for them and then all of a sudden it's not. It's two reasons. One, it could be processes inside your body have changed, and so you're going to need, you need an overhaul, and just to figure that out. But two, it could be something as simple as the formula, a company did buy that company, the formula did change. So always be, what I would always be checking the labels. I may say that about food. This should be, treated the same way. You want to make sure that you're reading your labels.
right.
in there.
Right.
And like you were saying earlier, Tina, not the not the whatever the substance is but it's the whole, it's the thing that you want. It's in its form, that your body's going to recognize, and not synthesized. With the internet, we have so much information at our fingertips. So if you just went and did just a little bit of research on that particular product, you would know whether it was synthetic or it was whole.
They'll never call it a synthetic, but
No.
always that as.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of a key thing to look out for if you're, kind of reevaluate what you're taking, or you want to take a look at, the supplements that you have.
Yeah, that's a great point. I know people they've got baskets and baskets of supplements that just sit there. One thing to stay away from is anything fluorescent. If it's like fluorescent orange, to get rid of that. They just label anything. And even the drugstores, people who are picking up their drugs and they see this stuff, and then they think, oh yeah, I heard this is what I need, and it's really, when you're taking that stuff, it's really counterproductive. It's like taking a pharmaceutical, because it might start off as a GMO corn, and then it ends up, goes through all these, which is not a good way to start, by the way. And then it goes through all these processes. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this on Tuesday with CBD, and it's kind of like with an industry that's booming and making so much money, billions, and supplements are like, upwards of 50 billion. Everyone's going to want a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
And the bigger it gets, and the more, the more distrust that people are having in pharmaceuticals over the last couple of years, the bigger supplements are gonna get, and the pharmaceutical companies know this, and they're going, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a money game, and the unfortunate thing is that, a lot of things can't be trusted, and I think, I hate to say you have to work with someone in order to get vitamins, but you kind of do, because it's the same thing. It's like, you're not going to go get, you can't go get just like a prescription medication to put in your body. Like, you have to work with somebody in order to get that. And it's the same thing. Like, anything that you need or that you're going to take that's not coming from the foods that you eat, like, you want to know that it's quality, and it's kind of like that's your, that's your lane. That's where you have to go. You have to find somebody that's willing to work with you on this stuff. Otherwise, in general, you're just wasting your money, time, effort, energy, body.
The whole food aspect and where it comes from, and herbs, like, should it be from the root, or because people imagine an herb and they imagine like the flower, but a lot of times it's the root. And then, should it be water extracted? Should it be alcohol extracted? And the best companies are going to know how to do that.
Right.
To preserve the properties that we're trying to get.
Yeah. Again, you want those therapeutic doses. You want to take supplements to supplements. So you want to take something and then hopefully be done with it.
Okay.
Or if you're a really healthy person and you want to take something, take that, but then don't take it for a little while and take something else. And our food supply is missing a lot of nutrients that we used to have because the soil is so poor and everything. So maybe take some minerals for a few months, and then here comes season where everybody gets sick. Well, I think that's because of all the sugar. I call it sugar season, not cold and flu season. But let's take some stuff to boost the immune system, and then after that, it's maybe let's do a detox because we just had all that sugar.
It's kind of not related, but unrelated note. But how do we feel in general? We can kind of talk about this about, let's say, like protein powders, creatine, things people are supplement, like these, like greens, things people don't maybe consider supplements, but definitely, but they are. And there's so much around I think the fitness industry that's pushing a lot of these kinds of products as well. And again, I do think it's about reading labels and things which we've all which we've touched on. But as far as I'm kind of losing my train of thought too, because my brain is a little stuffy from that. But I think all I'm trying to say is like these things, these products as well are considered supplements. They still you're being played the same way with these kinds of products.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can speak to any of them in particular, but any of the like big watch out for X in some of these products.
I've seen a lot of those products that are geared towards sports and the weightlifting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And man, they are bad. They've got the Splenda in there, and they've got just so much junk. And whey is one of those things. It's got amazing properties. It obviously helps with muscle building. And then I think what do you do when you do a coffee cleanse? That's for the glutathione in the liver, right? It offers the glutathione. But the qualities, some are good, some aren't good. So like you said, it's looking at what the ingredients are, and then we have science, and science says that you need this and this, but then the other science, the other researchers say you don't need this, and this is actually harmful. So then what do? I think for people like that are looking to supplement for muscle mass or something like that, find a good quality product and try it. And see how it works.
Yeah, I know, and I think too, like one of the things I think is underplayed in the industry is collagen, which is just such a pure form of protein. If you can find a great form of it, and does so much for gut health and all that, for hair, nails, skin, all the things. But again, that's becoming even more and more popular. But there are some like grass-fed beef isolate collagen things that you can get. That's the only ingredient. So it's something to be, again, when you're looking at labels, you gotta look for like just the whole food. What is it? Just a cow on the back, then you're good.
I just listened to a webinar, and it was actually saying, I have to get my notes because I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was kind of like the opposite. Like, you don't actually need collagen. You need to build this because this is the root of the collagen. And if you have this, then you're not just putting this one thing in. You're actually getting it from the root. But I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
I like to do that.
I listen to too many things, and then my head goes,
Well, great. Any, go ahead, Mom.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, but just like with everything that we're talking about, there's a time and a place for it. So if you're truly deficient in something that is causing symptoms, it's a good idea, like having a high quality something to get you, you're kind of trying to make a bridge between that symptom and then getting to what's really going on, digging down to where the origin of the issue is, symptom is. And so, but you just don't want people to be miserable in the, so we can use like really super high quality things to bridge that gap to get you over there to where, okay, well now you just don't need that anymore. I hate that people come just sometimes and it's like, well, I've been taking this for 10 years. And it's like, wow, okay, you shouldn't be your money on a supplement for the same supplement for 10 years. Like,
especially if it is for digestion or something. I mean, most
right.
people, and what my passion is, most people have something underlying. So whether it's Epstein-Barr virus, heavy metals, bacteria, whatever that is, if you don't address that, then you're, it's like going around a Ferris wheel. You're never going to get anywhere. So those have to be addressed. But like you said, at the same time, you have to help people feel a little better in the meantime while they're working on this other stuff. And you don't want to hit that stuff too hard because then you really feel bad. So you have to make sure the elimination pathways are working.
Right.
And that's one of the big things, that if people aren't draining, so you could be killing something in the body. A lot of people talk about yeast or bacteria or mold or whatever. If you're taking stuff to kill that, if you saw this commercial or this blog and they're like, take this, it gets rid of that. But then if you're not doing something else so that it gets drained and eliminated, then it's all stuck in there. And then what's happening?
Yeah. I know.
I think it's, yeah. I just think like you said at the beginning, I think people are just so conditioned to take the pill. They're used to taking medication, or they're used to the medication being the solution. And now we're moving towards supplements, but people don't really understand that supplements were never meant to be a medication. It's never meant to be something you're on. And I think we need to shift the mindset of people of like what supplements actually are. And they're not something where you're like, you're going to take this and you'll feel better, because people want that instant gratification too. And there is a mindset shift I think we're responsible for as wellness practitioners, that we're responsible for creating in people, and that it's not just like, oh, you're experiencing this symptom, cool, you need this supplement, here, go ahead, on your way. And that's just not the case.
Yeah, what's causing that symptom? That's
right.
What needs to be addressed.
And we always say, like, if you're looking for someone to partner with you, like, please steer clear of people that are advertising like that, or that are that's their solution, or that are very big on, here's all the supplements you can take and you guys should be on this specific one, and like without knowing you as an individual, and because that can just be, like we said, super dangerous. And I know like the best way to get everything is eating food and eating whole food, but like you said, the soil is depleted and we're often deficient in a lot of things. So yes, they're great tools, but it's not a medication, and it shouldn't ever be looked at like a medication. And there is, I think, because it's in that pill form, there's something about the psychology that we've all been conditioned to, that's what people are still viewing supplements as, like, well, I need a supplement.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Not
Really. And you don't even know if you can
handle it.
Anything with that supplement. So if people have to realize, like, what, I'm big, like, turn it over, is it whole food? And that's so important, because whole food has characteristic and synergies that we don't even know about yet. They might be like, we just discovered this new vitamin. No, it's been there. And then how does this stuff work together? And then you can look at it the opposite way. All the chemicals that we have coming in, all the sprays and lotions, and I mean, we are just bombarded 80 million different ways every day. How does that stuff working together? It works both ways. So you want that whole food because it was meant to be perfect. And
Right.
even though foods have changed over the years, and technically, yes, some of them are modified, and you have people like bananas should have seeds in them, and if you're not eating them, then you're stupid and you're not doing the right thing. And it's like, okay, let's just do the best we can with
Yeah.
what we've got, and
Mhm.
clean up as much as we can and eliminate as much as the junk as we can, and just start nourishing with supplements, nourishing with coconut oil instead of lotion with a bunch of chemicals,
Mhm.
with cleaner water, with less
Yeah.
screen time, more nature, all that kind of stuff. Nourish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I love that. That is a great message, I think, to wrap up with. Is there anything else you guys want to share?
I'm good. I think we covered.
Yeah.
I think we did a good
You get pat on the back. Good job.
wait. No,
Yeah.
hopefully, I'll just say, then hopefully, people found it interesting and maybe learned a little nugget somewhere along the way, that you didn't or understand or something. So it's kind of why we do these, but really appreciate you joining us today, Tina. Thank you. We'll
for
put information, right, Kate, after we, it'll be there for you if you guys want to chat with her further.
Thank you so much for having me, and I love what you girls do. Women.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.